Hey, welcome back. I'm out here today with the snowshoes, going through our about, I would call it 7 inches of packed snow we've had, and our around, I'm just going to call it 20 inches of fresh snow we got between Sunday morning and Monday night. It's cold. It's a real feel of about -2 or 3. But I got some stuff going on Friday, so you're getting a video on Wednesday. I'm not scheduling it. It's Wednesday. You're gonna get the video later today. I'm out here today doing another belt kit. This one, like I said in the last one, is more along the lines of like an old Alice Webb setup. Got the suspenders, and go through real quick what's in here. And for this one, I do have a small radio. Generally, for this type of kit, I will have a radio on me. It's GMRS. So in this pouch, I've got a lighter and a Swiss Army knife. This is the hiker. All of them have saws. In the little outside pouch, I've got a light. This is the light that was in the advent calendar. If you saw it in the last video. And this is a fire kit. Just a basic one. There's a lighter, fire starter, an actual Duraflame fire starter, a couple cotton balls. In the bottom there's a scraper and a ferro rod. So yes, there's 2 lighters in this. And you know, people have mentioned about signal mirrors. And part of the reason I don't is this is what I usually have for a fire kit. And the inside of these can be used to reflect light as a signal mirror. So I kind of don't need to carry an actual piece of reflective plastic or a plastic signal mirror or a glass mirror when I have something like this. And I also want to touch base on that too, because a lot of people don't realize and forget this, that your knife can be used to signal as well. A carbon steel knife or a coated knife isn't going to work. Carbon steel will work if it's not patina, if you didn't put a forced patina on it to darken it up. You need something that's going to be reflective. So, you know, some sort of stainless is the better idea for that. GMRS, I have set up with emergency channels for my area, and then just your basic GMRS channels. Got a couple of MIRS on there. The larger pouch on this is some just some basic items. I've got some electrical tape. I've got a pair of spare boot laces. Out of redundancy, I do have a second fire kit. This is flint and steel with char cloth, and there are some matches in there. This is also could be used to reflect. This is a small, like, emergency light kit. It's got some fishing stuff, some duct tape, and one of those budget wire saws. I also have in this, it's another Right in the Rain, and the pen from the Advent kit. Again, this is just stuff that I will or would carry in this type of a setup. Let's go over here. This is just a standard military canteen pouch, the newer version. In this one outside pocket, I've got a couple of the D-ring carabiners and a whistle. In the other outside pocket, I've got some water purification tablets. And inside is just an Nalgene canteen. Canteen cup. And the lid. And this is what I was referring to with those mini deployment pouches. It's basically just like your standard the butt pack type of thing. It's got a little more pouches on the outside to make it a little more convenient. On this outside pouch, I've got my little stove, which I'm going to get going. A small spoon I cut down to fit in this type of thing, and my coffee and stuff like that. This thing is solid fuel tablets. Another fire starter if need be. Let's see if I can get this to open without breaking it. I don't care if it breaks, but I would just like it not to today. Stuff that in there for now. One thing about lighters is when they're out in the cold, you got to heat them up a little bit before they'll light. So, you know, keeping them close to your body is a better idea. All right, let's put the lighter back. And the other outside pouch is an all cotton bandana, first aid kit. This one's a little bit more with it, and then I think the one I had the last time. This has got razor blade in it, and of course tick pullers. You know, some people might say, well, why would you have a tick puller if you got some kind of tweezers or something? Or just dig them out with your knife. I've been around some people that have Lyme and listened to what they go through. I don't want it, so I have tick pullers. In the outside pouch over here, I've got, of course, toilet paper. This is some more redundancy. This is another small fishing kit. This kit was a gift from my buddy Road King on our trip from September. I did add something. This has matches and a tea candle and a Mylar blanket. It's the Palmer furnace. That's what I was referring to in the last video with the belt kits. And I did add a fire starter that I made. This is a tea candle. I melt them down and I take some shavings, some fat wood shavings, and a cotton ball. Cotton ball makes the wick, and fat wood shavings help it burn a little hotter. And I've tested these in temperatures a little bit warmer than what today, last winter when I made them, and it burned for over 30 minutes. So this would definitely be a good fire starter. It would dry out your twigs or even your tinder, whatever you needed to actually get your fire going. But I would, give or take, say, call it 10 minutes. So this will burn for at least a good 20-25 minutes solid in the winter. That's when I made them and tested them. There's a whistle in there too. So I can actually have 2 whistles in this particular setup. And in the center pouch, I have a light stick, some spare cordage. I have a Ridgeline with 2 pieces of paracord already set up that I could use as prussiks, to tie prussik knots. And for this one, I have a poncho that has grommets in it to be able to use for a shelter, and some tent stakes. This would average out to just about the same size. It would be about 5 by 7 as the last tarp. So, in more inclement weather, when it was raining or snowing, I would definitely want a larger type tarp. There is space in here. You could fit like a 9 by 9 nylon or Silanon tarp in there. My jacket's riding up. My back's getting cold. So this is more of a preferred setup I like. It's got the suspenders so that the weight is more up on my shoulders. But, for many moons, that was the kind of setup I carried. It was just basically Alice gear with 2 canteens. I used the mag, M16 mag pouches to carry small stuff. By the way, I've said this before, I don't drink anymore, but those will fit a can of beer or a can of soda. And just the old style, the butt pack once in a while to have a tarp and some food. Something like this with a small backpack, and you'd be good to go. Like I said, I used to use something like this to go out for a night or two. So that's that. Yes, I do use the baggies. I dyed these. They were originally the ECU camo, which I don't mind. That stuff actually isn't too bad in winter in New York. The lighter colors kind of blend in some of the woods and stuff like that. Good tip for hunting and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of it. I haven't put my brothers Adirondack Bushcraft Brothers sticker on there yet. I have to put one on one of them. So that's it. You know, excuse me. It's another type of system you could use as a belt rig. Excuse me again. You know, this type of setup. You know, this isn't for everyone. You know, if you're going to use this for a weekend or overnight or something like that, you know, you're going to go bare minimum type stuff. But this is kind of set up just like the last one. If I'm out exploring some new area, or if I'm hunting or something, and you know, I get a little turned around and I have to wait for help, or maybe I twist my ankle, you know, I got enough to set my mind at ease to be able to spend the night. Would I prefer to spend the night out in this kind of temperatures, because it's going to get down to about 22 below tonight with the wind chill up here in the Adirondacks, and even colder, a little bit higher. All right, well, maybe not quite that cold, but it's going to be around between -10 and -15 tonight with the wind chill. No, I don't think anybody wants to do that, but that's, you know, that's kind of the point, is you don't want to have to spend the night out in this kind of temperatures. But you know, stuff like this would help with the Palmer furnace thing. What I would do, you got room in here, you could put a larger tarp if you wanted to. I would, you got the electrical tape, maybe add a second Mylar blanket to tape them together, and maybe, you know, go with a little bit better candle than a tea candle. Something, you know, get one of those 12-hour candles. They're gonna burn longer. When I tested the theory a while back out in my yard, I had a temperature difference outside. It was about 33, 34, and inside was about between, it kind of fluctuated a little bit. It didn't stay steady. It was between about 45 and maybe 53, I think, was the highest it got. So it's not going to be balmy like you're out in the sunshine in the summer, but it's going to be a lot warmer than what it is in the summer. Sorry, I don't have video footage of that. Maybe I'll put one out there. I just, when I went out to do it, I just didn't think about it. So I just went out, tested for a couple hours with it, and that was it. My fingers are cold, so they're not functioning like they should. And this is why I always say, as an example, don't depend on something like a bow drill all the time. Carry stuff that you're going to be able to make a fire if your fingers are cold and not working completely the way they should, or you've hurt your wrist or something like that where you can't really do it. I've said it over. A ferro rod, a lighter, and matches. And I didn't get that from somebody else. I know that from being experienced, being out in the winter and getting frostbite on numerous occasions. I'm just going to stick this in here now. Same with these, throw those in there for now. So, yeah, that's what's I said, that's another option for a belt kit. I do use, you know, this type versus, you know, old classic leather. It's just a personal preference. There's no, if you want to use leather with pouches, use leather. If you want to use this kind of stuff, the tactical, then do so. You know, it's all up to you. And you know, the universal items. I do have a compass. It is in my pocket. I'm not gonna dig that out right now. And I do have my belt knife and my multi-tool on me. Oh, it's hot, but it's good. So that's it. I don't think I'm going to be covering anything more on belt kits. I've discussed both of the type that I would use. The only other thing I would do is, instead of this little padded belt that's here, I might just use an actual, you know, Alice belt, the old web, what they call web belts. But the gear kind of stays the same. Something for shelter, some cordage, coffee and the bouillon just for peace of mind, especially if it's colder weather, something to warm you up inside besides just drinking hot water. Something to purify water, some sort of little pot or pan, and some emergency stuff, you know. First aid kit and a compass should be in every emergency kit. I'm not calling them survival kits. I'm calling it emergency kits. If you watch the video about the advent calendar, you might get it. And if you saw the last blog post, you'll understand it a little bit more. So that's it. I'm going to finish my coffee, pack up the cup and the canteen, and head back out of here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.